Okay, Nicole, the reason I'm filming this video is I was thinking the other day that when people die, a lot of times at the funeral, people are just telling all these great memories and saying what they really like about the person, and I think it's a shame you have to wait until a person dies for them to hear that. And I think that you have affected my life and the lives of all of your friends so much that I wanted you to see that. So without further ado, here's the rest of that video.
I like that Nicole is Nicole, just unapologetically, that she is excited about life and isn't afraid to show it, and she talks with her hands and gets really into it, and she gets emotional about things, and she's not ashamed of it.
Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about what it means to be a friend with you. It means that you will be taken care of. It means that you will have a real, honest person who isn't going to lie to you, who is very empathetic and will get what you're going through. I think that's my favorite part about you, is how empathetic you are. I know you hate it that you cry all the time, but I think it's like this amazing thing about you, and that you get how people are feeling, and that's something that is rare to find in this world.
One of my most favorite things about you is your curiosity and your drive to keep learning. From a very early on, you were asking the question, how come? And you asked it a lot. Your questions are more sophisticated now, but you continue to question and explore the world around you. I admire that. It's going to take you far in life.
I love Nicole's huge, kind heart, her enthusiasm for life, and her goofy side. She's just so much fun to hang around. And then she's intelligent. I mean, this girl's got the whole thing going on. And then she's got a hunky boyfriend, but I guess that's a whole nother story.
Ben asked me to tell you what my favorite thing about you was, and one of my favorite memories about you. So when I think about you, I think it's endearing how you really want to understand everything in its entirety. And so I think whenever we play games together, about how when you're learning a game and something doesn't make sense, you're like asking these questions to like try and fit the puzzle pieces in, and I feel like these gestures that I'm making are gestures that you make as you're trying to understand things too. So I think that's really cool and rare, and good for you for like trying to know stuff.
All right, so one of my favorite things about you is that you march to your own beat, and you always have. I don't know many people that can stay true to themselves as well as you have, and you are so unbelievably strong. I really, really respect that.
And you give some of the best hugs of anybody, and I've always appreciated your passion and how artistic you are. You just do some pretty amazing things, and you really put your heart and soul in whatever you do, and take things really seriously when they need to be, and yet you can be so goofy too. It's kind of neat.
My favorite thing about Nicole is her open-minded, honest and funny character. I admire her enormous care she shows toward her family and her friends, even no matter how she is doing herself. It seems like she always puts the others' needs first before her, and that she supports others whenever they need it. Her lovely and honest attitude has impacted me in the way that I have always seen her as the big, strong sister that I once want to become.
What is my favorite thing about Nicole? I'd have to say how passionate and tenacious she is, and that you can make her cry on command by just asking her if she's going to cry.
I think then, if I think about what I love about Nicole or how Nicole has impacted me, I mean, she's my big sister. She is someone who I have always looked up to, in just about every capacity. She says that I followed in her footsteps but did it better, but I think I did it better because of her. I think one of my favorite things about Nicole is how easily she cries. And I think it's something that we both really relate to. Because I was hoping not to cry during this video, but you see that didn't last very long. And I know that it's something that, like, it drives her nuts, and I know that it drives me nuts. I don't like crying in front of other people. I don't think that she does either. But it's also something that has kind of shown me that, like, it's okay to feel strongly about things, and it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to be so happy that you cry.
My favorite thing about Nicole is that she has such a huge heart, and she is always trying to get better and to give as much as she can, and she really makes me a better person just by her being her. Like, I really strive to be better because she's my partner, and she sets a high bar, but in the best possible way.
Nicole has impacted my life in many ways. Probably the first time that I met her, I was so happy that it was my roommate Tracy, and she told me that her name wasn't Tracy, and I was very sad, but I was very happy that I got to know her. We have so much in common, and it's really nice to know that even though we haven't talked in a while, I know I could call her day or night, and she would be there for me and give me advice, good or bad, whether I wanted to hear it or not.
I was just thinking about the first time that I met you down at Bodo Vino. We were having some drinks, and you were telling me about what you did for a living, and you told me you were trying to pass a smoking ordinance in the bars of Garden City, and before I could stop myself, I asked you why you hated freedom, and you had this look on your face like you were horrified, but it passed pretty quick. I think you got over it, but I felt bad about it at the time, but when I look back, it's one of my favorite memories. I think it's hilarious, and it's just sort of how you do everything you do. You do everything that you think is right. You try to make the world a better place, but you're not too caught up in it, and you don't ever take yourself too seriously. I think it's great.
Some of the things I remember about Nicole growing up, she was always such a girly girl. Gotta have that dress on, gotta do your twirl. But you were so cute. You always had that beautiful smile, and you give some of the best hugs of anybody.
I remember sharing in my excitement with you when I met David. And you let me have that excitement, and you let me be excited. And I remember dragging you to the bookstore and telling you all about him and kind of stalking him. Pretending to do human A&P, and then me being like, he's right there. And you were just so fun to talk to and be with, and I am so grateful for your friendship, and I am so grateful that I met you. Like, I really feel as though God put you in my life so that I would have that friendship when I moved in with Megan.
My favorite memory of her, while there are many of us, trudging through grad school at Papa Joe's for many study sessions, is I think it was after class on Halloween, and we stopped by the bar at Papa Joe's, and she proceeded to lecture the entire bar on the importance of sex education and learning about sexually transmitted infections, and she really had everybody listening and asking for her advice, and that was pretty great. So
I have two. So one of them is when we were up in McCall at the cabin, and there was a time when just Nicole and I were down in the hot tub hanging out, and we were just really talking, and I think that was one of the first times we talked one-on-one for a long time. And Nicole was making icicles out of her hair because it was negative freezing temperatures. And then the other time is when we were hanging out at our place, and we went over to the co-op to get some snacks, and Nicole and I were just kind of looking at, I think, fruit snacks, and just kind of realized after a few seconds that we were just dancing to the music in the aisle, and it was just kind of funny, and we both looked at each other and laughed, and it's just always fun and easygoing.
I remember driving home the very first time after you were born from the hospital. We were going home, and I was thinking of all the adventures that we were going to have together in a lifetime. Some were going to be very good, some probably not so good, but we're going to do it together. Your impact on my life has been immense. I cannot even begin to tell you how important you are in my life. All of those summers that we spent together and the adventures we went on during my teaching years, the swimming, the movies, and all of those things, playing in the mud pies, all of those are very special to me. All of your school adventures, the things that you did in school, the subjects, the activities, all the way from when you first started all the way through your master's program.
During my exchange year, Nicole was the person with whom I talked to about pretty much anything. And there was this one night that we were out in the backyard pretty much all night, just talking about the rest of the world, about everything. And then when I came back, many years after, I was received at her new home in Boise with a freshly baked banana peanut butter bread. And again, we basically talked all night just to catch up on all the years that have passed.
Some of my favorite memories of Nicole are when I gave her nickname, Knick. I don't remember much of that night, but I remember that I gave that to her, and I was really proud that I did that. And when she lived with me when we were in Pullman, Washington, all the stupid crap we did, like we went on a whole adventure and we had a bucket list of all these fun things. Like we ding-dong ditched someone, we did cartwheels, I found a feather, I think. She bought me a robe in college because I kept walking around with a really small blanket, and she thought I should be a little bit more modest. When we were doing cartwheels up at Idaho State and her pants ripped, that was really funny. And whenever she gets really excited, she does this little dance with a face that's kind of like a, and I love that about her.
Some of my favorite memories of us are up in Salmon, at the ranch, floating the river, getting into trouble. But those aren't just my favorite memories of us, those are my favorite memories of all time.
One of my favorite memories of Nicole was when she's helping me clean my art room out, and she went to look under the bed and she flipped back the cover and she was eyeball to eyeball with my cat. It scared Nicole so bad she about fell over backwards. So I was going to die laughing. Good times, huh?
But the really great time, the best part of this story, the actual story part, was the summer when she didn't really have her grad school duties, or if she did, I think she was maybe taking one class. And it was nice, and the weather was great, and on days that we would both have off, we would go adventuring in Boise, and we would go to the aquarium. We spent a lot of time at Dave & Buster's. That was a lot of fun. I don't even know how many points we racked up there, or tickets or whatever, but it was a lot. We did kind of like a food exploration and tried different places. We tried day drinking, but we would just get to the point in day drinking where you're like buzzed and happy, and then we would end up day napping instead, because we couldn't like power through it. It never worked out for us, and we tried it multiple times. I introduced her to a new book called World War Z, which I ended up like reading out loud to her. If anyone hasn't read it, I highly recommend it. And we just had fun together. I think Nicole has been one of my best friends for quite a while, but I really think that summer is what like solidified it for me, that like she was more than a sister for me, that I chose to spend time with her. I wanted to spend time with her. I didn't feel like I was obligated because she was family or something like that. Like I wanted to be around her. It was fun, and I felt like she brought the best out in me, and I think she still does.
And probably my favorite memory with Nicole is probably something a little bit counterintuitive. It's actually when we were in the hospital for Teddy, and we were trying to decide whether or not we should put the money in to keep him alive. And for some reason, that memory sticks out to me because it was a very serious conversation. It was probably the most serious conversation we'd ever had at that point. And I felt like we really got through it really well, and it just really affirmed in my mind that I wanted this person to be my partner for the rest of my life. And I just love her so much.
I hope you have all that you dream of, because you deserve it, and I love you very much. Bye.
Happy birthday, Nicole. Wish you all the best.
Just wanted to say I love you and happy birthday.
So I hope you have a really good birthday, and I hope you have a lot of really good birthdays to come.
We've had a lot of good times, and I'm very happy that I could be a part of your birthday in some way, Nicole. I love you very much.
Just proud to be your dad, and many more years to come. Love you.
You are going to go far in life, Nicole. I know that. Happy birthday. I hope you have a great day.
Anyway, I love you, girl. Happy birthday.
Nicole, I hope you enjoy your video. I hope it's great. I'm sure by now there are tons of tears running down your face, because there are tons of tears running down my face, so there better be tears running down your face. I hope 32 is a wonderful year for you.
That's all. Bye.